Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you joined us this morning. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you enjoy the show. We'll get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. And you look at all the things Haney Technical Center offers. I made a list of it, just welding, electricity, nursing, cosmetology, marine service tech, drafting, computer tech, massage therapy. So 1 year's effort equals a lifetime of rewards at Haney. The temperature this morning is a little cooler than yesterday. 53 degrees here, 51 Mariana, and 51 also in Apalachicola. High today, just we'll get into 70, about 71 here on the coast. Low tonight, 49. So what we have is a little cool, dry air that came in yesterday. And that's good news. And bad news also, the pollen is out high. And I know most of y'all know that by now. Water temperature here, 64. And we're going to work on a chart. I'm going to show you a chart tomorrow. Have this water temp has really gone up in a 2-week period. It's going up 9 degrees. Our marine forecast winds east, northeast, and sort of swing around more out of north later on today at 8 to 17 knots, seas 2 to 4, and a light to moderate chop on protected waters. Take a look at our river readings. Always important to us. Apalachicola at Bluntstown, it really shot up Monday. It shot up about a foot. It's reading 5.2 this morning. The prediction for the rest of the week is just a level reading and everything real calm, so the weekend looks good on the Apalachicola Bluntstown. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, real steady. A steady 4.7 and maybe a little bump by Thursday, but then maybe falling a little bit by Sunday, but really, really good fishing. Excellent fishing really on both rivers, okay? And each Wednesday morning we like to call Captain Blair Morgan down in Port St. Joe at Cape San Blas. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning, Winston. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good. The weather feels good outside. The pollen's really been tearing me up here lately.
Well, I know it. This report brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, and I was trying to find a picture, Jeff. But anyway, Blair runs Blue Water Bandit Charters, and sponsored by Blue Water Outriggers, this report. So tell us what's going on down your way.
Winston, I hadn't had a whole lot of reports on the trout. Of course, it just opened back up again yesterday, so, you know, it was closed the whole month of February. But
yeah,
I did get a good report on some freshwater things. A guy I talked to this week said last weekend him and his buddies went to somewhere on the Apalachicola River, and they caught the limited bluegills, big brim, 2 days in a row. Oh, wow. And he said they just primarily fished 2 spots just fast you could let them down. You know, they was biting. So that sounded good. And then my old buddy at Ace Hardware, he does a lot of bass fishing over here in the Intercoastal Waterway. He put in at White Cities Saturday and said the fog was so thick he couldn't run, so he just started fishing the bank with a crankbait. Said he was tearing the redfish up.
In the Intercoastal Waterway?
Yeah, right there around the boat ramp on the crankbait.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is. And, of course, there's a lot of people surf fishing. They're catching some real big whiting off the surf. Mm-hmm. But, and I understand there's a lot of sheephead up in the Intercoastal Waterway as well at the mouth of the creeks.
You think those redfish are still around back behind St. Vincent Island around those oyster bars?
Yeah, they are, Winston. Yeah, I failed to say that now. I do know a guy went over there in a kayak the other day, and he had a real fun time. He was up actually in Indian Lagoon.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you and I went that day.
I caught that real big one.
Yeah, and, you know, you got to have a real shallow drawing boat to go up in there. But he went in there and really had a good time on the redfish.
Very good.
So they're at the mouth of all those creeks right now. I mean, okay. They're there, and everything should be exploding. I hadn't heard anything on Spanish yet.
Yeah.
But everything else it's doing good. This month right here is when everything's going to bust wide open.
Hey, that's right. You're getting excited. Sounds good, Blair.
All right. Well, have a good one.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
All right, folks. We'll take our first break and be right back.
Sunrise to sunset. A walk through nature takes you on a journey of Florida's Emerald Coast. You'll encounter the wildlife, birds, lighthouses, indigenous to the beautiful land and seascapes of Florida. Set to the sounds of nature and enhanced with easy listening music. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. NatureWalkDVD.com or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature. Visually stunning.
You got any kind of old trailer at the house that needs repair, need to bring it down to AMW. I have a huge supply of trailer and trailer parts, always on hand, anything you need. If you see this label on any boat trailer at any boat landing, you can guarantee yourself that you're looking at a fine quality made trailer. AMW Trailers, right here in the big blue building in beautiful downtown Millville. They've been doing trailers and trailer parts since 1954, 3 generations of the same family.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed, they build dairy feed, they make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at that, Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy at almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Rainbow Plastics manufactures an assortment of fishing tackle for trolling, casting, and bait fishing. Cast your favorite fly, jig, or live bait like a shot with extreme accuracy with adjust-a-bubble floats. Available in a variety of sizes and colors. Fish as a stationary float or use as a slip float to obtain the desired depth. Adjust-a-bubble float by Rainbow Plastics, made in the USA, putting quality and innovation above all else. Ask for it at your favorite tackle store or buy online at rainbowplastics.com.
Welcome back. I'm going to have a quick segment here because we have a special guest here in the studio, but I want to get a couple announcements out of the way. Yesterday we talked about this free hunter safety course up in Washington County. That's that one day up at Hard Labor Creek Plantation. That's March the 12th. So put it on the calendar. It'll be 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. That takes the range, but you have to complete the internet portion first. And I've had a lot of phone calls and emails and sort of stacking up on me. Let's get a couple of them out of the way. I got a good email from Brenda Roney talking about the Biophilia Center. You know, we showed that last week. Those 48,000 acres of land over in Baldwin County. We're just so impressed with that. And we have an open house coming up. We'll talk about this more later. But she was informing me that it is going to be open to the public later. And the date she was given was June 1st through August the 31st, just on weekends only, just Friday through Sunday. But it's going to be on a limited basis, so it will. And they don't want to keep it private. They do want to open it. They just real short-handed and need volunteers and need some money and also, you know, to get people in. But that's an awesome place, and but it will be open. Brenda Roney, thank you for giving me that information there. Also, I had a call. Mr. Lewis called about that red snapper limit, wanting to know if it's going to increase. Mr. Lewis, he'd had some health problems. Glad you're doing better. The red, what's increasing now is the redfish limit. It's going from 1 to 2. It's not official, but you know, we pretty well count on the redfish, but not the red snapper. We know nothing of the red snapper going up, although the catch allotment will be improved a little bit this year. But glad you're doing better. And John Young called from Graceville and want to know about pompano rigging. John, in the next couple of days, I'm going over how to rig up for pompano fishing because we're right around the corner from catching them. And also another caller called and wanted me to go over those that top 10 surf fishing areas here in the Panhandle. And I'll go over that within maybe the first part of next week. So I'll get all those calls answered and all. But right now, I want to say a good morning to Miss Woodrick's 8th grade American history class. I was guest speaker yesterday. We talked about they're in American history and they're in Florida history. And Miss Woodrick broke it down to Bay County history. So I spoke on my book on the history of the fishing and boat building. And the classes were so good and had so many good questions and so attentive. And I was really impressed with those Bay Haven 8th graders over there in Miss Woodrick's class. So I want to say good morning. I know some of y'all are watching this morning and some of y'all are TiVoing, but good morning, y'all, and y'all have a good day at school. So let's take our break. I'll be back with my guest.
You know what folks like best about Coram Steak and Eggs? Just about everything. Willie and Linda Coram have been in business a long time. They know how to take care of their customers with great food and great service. Better than being at home. You don't have to do the dishes. It's all good, but be sure to check out the Heavenly Hash. That's what Coram Steak and Eggs is famous for. Coram Steak and Eggs, 804 South Tyndall Parkway. Open 24/7.
Come on down to Blue Water Outrigger, where you'll always find friendly service, fresh and saltwater fishing rods, top of the line men's and women's apparel. Don't forget to pick up your live baits and let us help you with all your outdoor needs. Check out our wide selection of top quality reels and hunting necessities and everything in between. Come see us or order online. We'll be waiting for you right next door to Piggly Wiggly, Port St. Joe.
Hey everybody, this is Brad Stevens coming to you from Sunjammers Water Sports on Highway 79. You know us for your fishing kayaks and all your sailing needs. What you may not know is that we stock a full line of inshore and offshore tackle, specializing in the Captain Joe fish-on lures. We stock his grouper baits, his SS minnows, his shredders, along with all of your gulp baits, Joe jigs, the edge hook, your U-Pro rods, and live bait. Come see us at Sunjammers Water Sports, 315 North Highway 79.
Sunset Coastal Grill, located in the heart of beautiful Port St. Joe, was established in 2002 by Patty and Dewey Blaylock as a family-owned coastal restaurant. In Port St. Joe, we meet at Sunset. Sunset's open for lunch and dinner every day of the week. Fresh seafood's brought in daily and served in a variety of traditional and creative ways. Try our award-winning gumbos. Steaks are grilled simple and perfect over an open flame grill. Our homemade soups, sauces, and salad dressings are so popular, we sell them retail. And don't forget, see the sunset at Sunset.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Special guest. Listen, I know we have these. I had an ugly guy on yesterday. I got an ugly guy coming tomorrow, but today we have a pretty young lady. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, Kirsten Eller, graduate student of Florida State University. We actually met her last night. I went to the RMA presentation. She did a presentation last night, and I was going to film her, and just bring it in and show you. And I said, it'd be better if you could come on the show. Just took a wild shot that she would. She said, sure, I'll come on. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I asked her to be here at 5 o'clock, folks. Exactly at 5 o'clock she drove up. All right, let's tell the folks a little bit about yourself, okay?
Okay.
So you're from Texas originally?
Yep, I grew up in Texas, and I went to Baylor University. And then for graduate work, I came out here to Florida State, working with Dr. Jeff Chanton and Dr. Bill Burnett on my project. And we just finished up. I just graduated in December, and it's been great, and I loved it. Okay.
And I was checking on your background last night, make sure you certified to come on the show. And the first thing I asked you about your husband, and tell us about him.
Oh yeah, he's a great big hunter and fisher. He's fished all of his life. In our house, we have deer mounts and duck mounts, and
well, that qualified her right there when she told me about him. And so that's cool. And then what does he do now?
He's an engineer.
Okay.
He's a mechanical engineer.
Okay, and y'all live over in Tallahassee.
Yes.
And I was fascinated. You said you've always loved the water.
Yes.
It goes back to when?
Well, I blame it personally on The Little Mermaid. When I was little, I literally could not get enough of it, and I've always really been in love with the water and attracted to the water, and I really just blame it on The Little Mermaid. I really do.
So you came over here, and when you finished Baylor, you wanted you were trying to pick out a graduate school.
Yes.
Tell folks how you sort of picked this out over here at FSU.
Well, I'm not a winter person, so we were looking basically below the Dixon line, and just looking at the different colleges, the different kind of research that was going on, and I met with Dr. Burnett and Dr. Chanton, and they sold me on St. Andrew Bay and the work that we've been doing here, and the rest is history.
Oh, very, very good. So you wanted to stay warm. Now, y'all,
Yes.
y'all do it. You and your husband, you were talking about kayaking and diving. You do all kind of,
yeah. We're big scuba divers. We kayak. We have a tandem kayak, and we take our little dog with us, and we go fishing out off the coast, and we do all that stuff. We love it. We just love getting out in the world.
Okay, so now we've impressed our viewing audience. She's qualified, and what's neat about it, all these things she and her husband does, she does all those things that we all love and talk about ourselves and all. But she does some really serious scientific study. And she did an hour-long presentation last night at RMA. And here's this folder here, Resource Management Association, St. Andrew Bay. And there's a great group of people, a lot of volunteers that work on the water quality in St. Andrew Bay and all. And Linda and all, they do a good job.
Oh, they do a wonderful job. It's organizations like the Research Management Association which really are going to help maintain and help improve St. Andrew Bay, because it's people who live there that are really motivated to take care of what they have. They're a great group.
Okay, well let's start on this study you did.
Okay.
Sort of tell us about a little bit. And we're going. She did an hour long last night, so we've got to compress it into 5 minutes or so.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay, so basically tell us a little bit about the beginning of the study and why you picked that study. Okay.
All right. Well, we picked this study because we wanted to understand the residence time or the flushing time of St. Andrew Bay, and we did this looking at the radium isotopes present in the bay. These are natural levels, so it's nothing to worry about. We basically are looking at the distribution of radium isotopes inside the bay compared to what was in the sources. And then we were able from that to calculate an estimate of the residence time.
It sounds simple. And here's some Jeff, we can get some of this here. Well, you might can see it right here. Tell us what some of these things are.
This is a cartridge, and inside, it's hard to see in here, we just have a black mass, which is this. These are manganese oxide fibers, which start out something very similar to what is inside of like a teddy bear in there. So we use acrylic fibers, and we do a bunch of chemical stuff to it, and we come out with this. And it basically works as a radium magnet. What we do is we pass our sample water. We collect about 70 liters of water per sample. And we slowly pass it through this cartridge, and so it's radiant. There's radium in the water as it comes in this cartridge, and as it passes over these fibers, the fibers act as a radium magnet and take all of the radium that was in that water, and it concentrates it on the surface of these fibers. And all the water that leaves here is essentially radium-free. And so we're able to take these fibers back with us to Tallahassee and determine the radium concentrations on the fibers and what was actually in the sample.
That was good. Okay, and the location, a lot of the places you really sort of concentrated on North Bay. Looking at your map last night, North Bay and West Bay.
Yes.
And you had different monitoring areas all along there.
Yeah, we sampled all throughout North Bay and West Bay and a little bit in Deer Point Lake, since it is the largest freshwater source to the area.
Yeah. And you know, basically looking at the residence time of the water, how long the water is there, and that's how we gauge the health of a bay system a lot of times on stagnation and all. And
it gives you an idea.
So, how many people sort of helped you on this? You just sort of, how much help did you have doing this?
I had a lot of help. You know, this Linda Fitzhugh, a member of the St. Andrew Bay Research Management Association, she was really, you know, the idea behind all of this, and she really just gave this to me on a silver platter, and we ran with it. And I had tons of help from the St. Andrew Bay Research Management Association with their boats, and I had people come out and help me sampling as much as I needed, and it was really them, and also some people from FSU as well came and helped to get everything done.
Okay, and you know, one thing we mentioned, one of the person last night had a question too about. And I know you didn't study Apalachicola Bay, but Apalachicola Bay is on a viewing area. But you know, we have a dam at Deer Point Lake, and they have a river system.
Yes.
So they have a big flow of.
Oh yes.
And so their residence time with that water is not very long at all.
No, they have definitely a quicker residence time than we're seeing in St. Andrew Bay. And actually, a similar study that I did was actually applied in Apalachicola Bay.
Yeah.
And it worked really well in that area too because of that huge river they have going through there.
Yeah, and maybe that's why the oysters taste so good.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, look, we're gonna take a break in a second, but we're gonna come back with the conclusions. She presented the conclusion. Thank you of the study, and what she just pointed out was I have written down here the giveaway. And the giveaway, we started this about last week, started giving this away. And I've forgotten it a couple of times to do it. And then one time we had too many phone calls and the phone jammed. But today, this is a David Cooler album, okay, Living My Redneck Ways. You know, we had a big dog hunting video with him, and he gave us some DVDs to give away. And this is the last one. He writes his own music, a great outdoorsman. He's from South Carolina. And next time he's down, I'm going to have him on the show. He'll bring his, maybe a guitar or something. But if you want to win this album, call my number right there. And I'm going to answer a 2-minute break. And then we're going to come back with a conclusion of this study that Kirsten did. Okay? Be right back.
What do you value? The feel of fertile soil? The smell of fresh-cut grass? The pride of an autumn harvest? The belief that it's not really work if you enjoy it. And above all, the end justifies the tractor. Kubota. Power, versatility, comfort. Everything you value in a tractor.
You see the new Kubota tractors at Soul Tractor today.
Did you know ethanol-enhanced fuel can damage your outboard and inboard engines plus reduce mileage? Here at Pier 98, we have non-ethanol fuel by land or sea with dockside parking for boats up to 50 feet. Pier 98 also is your one-stop convenience store with full deli and all your fishing and boating needs, including bait and tackle. Our live bait includes shrimp, bull minnows, and chauffeurs. Pier 98 is on Tyndall Parkway, 1 mile before DuPont Bridge, and open at 4 a.m. We are family-owned and operated and here to serve you.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAM certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your visits.
When you think of a successful hunting season, two things come to mind: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. Browning is the best there is, and C&G Sporting Goods is your factory direct, full-line Browning dealer. C&G stocks Browning guns, camo, knives, scopes, gun safes, bows, and much more, including hunting and fishing license. Look over the new Browning BAR camo short track and X-Bolt rifles. Why pay good money for anything less than a Browning? Browning and C&G, the best there is. Home of the experts.
Welcome back. Sitting here with Kirsten Elder from FSU and also from Houston, Texas.
Yes,
right?
that's where I grew up.
Baylor University, our guest this morning. But first, let's congratulate our winner. Jimmy Harrison from Panama City won the David Cooler album. Had a lot of calls, and it's still ringing, but I've already given it away. And congratulations, Jimmy. And come by the studio and pick it up sometime today or tomorrow. Now, let's do our Express Lane Fish and Game forecast, our peak time for today. This morning, we're looking at 10:19 a.m. to 12:19 p.m. Excellent time. Just take a long lunch right there. Take 2 hours to go fishing at the closest bridge somewhere. And then tonight, 10:49 to 12:49 tonight. Okay. I also want to mention a boat for sale. I don't have a picture, but I talked to the guy last night. He called me, and Bobby Rhodes over in Millville has a Randall Craft, and that's why we don't need a picture. You know what a Randall Craft boat looks like, and this is a good river boat, excellent boat for freshwater. Has 35 Evinrude. He only wants $1,400 for it, and here's the number: 896-2746. 896-2746. Bobby Rhodes out of Millville, 14-foot Randall Craft. Okay, Miss Eller, let's get back to your research. We want to get now. You studied. How long did this study take you to do? How many trips in all?
We did 6 trips total for this part of the study, and we started in April of 2009, and we did our last trip. February 2009, and our last trip was in April 2010.
So you came down all the 6 different times.
Yep.
Okay. So you had all these samples. You took them out to FSU in the laboratory and did all the scientific stuff with them.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was some of the conclusions that you and your group came up with?
Well, through all of our calculations and everything we did, we came up with an estimated residence time of about 10 days. But that's the lower extent. Because of complications with our calculations and everything was showing us the lower extent. So the residence time of St. Andrew Bay is at least 10 days. And of course, this is a fluctuating variable. The residence time is not constant. It's going to fluctuate with the tides and what the winds are doing and how much precipitation is entering into the area, and all of those things are going to go into how long the water is actually staying inside of the bay system.
Okay, and I looked at your presentation last night, and you're talking about tides. You have a neap tide, you have a spring tide, you have stronger tides in different parts, so a lot of variables on that. I understood that. And she went in all kind of formulas last night. We won't go into that. But all the scientists there understood it, and I was just scratching my head, but I did understood a little bit. But in layman's term, the water is stayed in the bay roughly 10 days.
Yes,
and
at minimum. At minimum, it's staying in there 10 days. We are unable to get, the other end of that range, unfortunately. But hopefully that some other scientists will come around and they'll find that range.
So you can say scientifically our bay is a fairly healthy bay.
I personally think it is. You know, just being there, I loved working in there. We always had dolphins come and visit our boat whenever we were sampling. It was great, and it was just, it was a really enjoyable place to do my research and work.
So it's good. That's a good flushing period. I know some. And of course, the bays different along the Gulf Coast, and all different bays have different variables. So a lot of times, but compared to that, I think we're real healthy compared to some bays.
I've been in a lot of the coastal bays, and St. Andrew Bay is definitely one of my favorites.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now the big thing, scientists, you're always doing this research, and then we try to get the research and then try to get policy put in for different things, just in general. And is that a hard thing to do sometimes?
It is. It is. It's hard to get all of your research into a place where it's going to actually do some good and be applied to the environment. And it's really up to the policymakers and up to the scientists to come together and really find the best possible management plans. And I really hope that my research will eventually help to get the best possible management plans established for St. Andrew Bay to help at least maintain, if not improve, the environment here.
And we all have the same goal. It could be scientists, it could be boaters, fishermen. We all want a healthy bay and water system, and we're all striving for that. And what I want to do this morning was put a face on research, you know, and this is great. And we were able to put a pretty face on it this morning, but you know, these scientists who do this research and all, you know, they're outdoorsmen, and look at her and her husband and the things y'all do, and so when we talk about the research and all, you know, these are people doing the research that want to do it and enjoy doing it and all. So what are some of your future plans?
Well, you know, I really love the path that I'm going on. I love doing, you know, water research and water chemistry and looking at water quality and how it's moving and how water's moving. So I don't exactly know what the next step is. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
But as long as it involves water, I know I'll be happy.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And I know y'all do a lot of outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your mom is out in Houston.
Yes.
And she'll be watching this on YouTube.
I almost guarantee it.
so we're glad Jeff puts it on YouTube every day, and we'll get a great feedback on that. So that's one of the honors of being able to do that. You can watch it on TV tonight.
Yeah.
And the T-shirt you bought. Let's show that T-shirt. We'll hold it up. This is a St. Andrew Bay. This is the group.
Management.
Okay, Resource Management Agency. Okay.
Association.
Okay. And a bunch of good people there do a lot of good work and all for
Very
us.
much dedicated to St. Andrew Bay and making sure it's a wonderful environment for the future.
Linda Fisher teaches out at Gulf Coast College. And I met
She
Linda. Does good work out there and all. Okay, so we want to thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
And are you used to getting up this early?
No, not at all.
It was really good. This is one of these spontaneous things. This show was planned last night at 8 o'clock.
It was.
Really, and we just talked about coming on, and I wanted to share some of the information with you, and hope you learn from it. We do have a healthy-based system here in St. Andrew Bay. So again, thanks for coming on. And here's what's coming up tomorrow. We have Steve Petty coming on. We'll be talking about some boats and all. And remember, Friday we had the big Tarpon Dock Seafood. We have Tarpon Dock Seafood giveaway. Last week we gave away a red grouper. This week I will call today and find out what we're giving away on Friday. And then next week we'll have a full schedule next week coming up. So if you have any ideas or anything you want to do on the show, just give us a call here, and we'll try to provide it for our viewers. And you know, I get these calls and emails every day, and you just don't know how much I appreciate the feedback we'll get and the positive comments you make. And thank you again. Thanks again for coming on. Okay? And we've got to get out of here, folks. And you do something good for somebody today and make the outdoors part of your world, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.